So, what if the secret to achieving incredible things wasn't some huge, heroic effort? What if it was all about making changes so small you barely even notice them? Well, that right there is the core idea behind James Clear's incredible book, Atomic Habits. And by the end of this short explainer, you're going to have a really simple, actionable way to build better habits and see some truly remarkable results. Okay, let's just dive right in because I think this slide explains something we have all felt. You start a new habit, right? Maybe it's hitting the gym or learning an instrument. And for weeks, maybe even months, you see, well, nothing. It just feels like you're failing. We all expect our progress to be this nice, clean, straight line. But the reality is, results only show up after you've put in enough work to cross this critical threshold. And this gap between what we expect and what actually happens is what James Clear calls the valley of disappointment. This is the exact spot where most people give up, right before things are about to take off. And this quote, it just perfectly captures how you get through that valley. The San Antonio Spurs, one of the most successful teams in NBA history, actually have this hanging in their locker room. Because those breakthrough moments, the rock finally splitting in two, they are never the result of that one last hit. Nope. They are the payoff for all the consistent, seemingly pointless effort that came before it. Your work isn't being wasted, it's being stored. So, okay, if it's not just about trying harder, then what are we missing? Well, this brings us to the absolute core revelation of Atomic Habits. You've been playing the wrong game. And the problem isn't you. It's not even your goals. It's your system. Let's break this down because it's a simple idea, but it is huge. Goals are the results you want to get. A system is the process that gets you those results. I mean, think about it. Every single Olympian has the same goal, to win a gold medal. So the goal itself can't be what separates the winners from everyone else. It's the system, the daily practice, the coaching, the tiny improvements. That's what actually determines who stands on top of the podium. And that brings us right to the name of the book itself, an atomic habit. It's not just that it's a small habit, it's that it's a fundamental building block. It's like a single atom, an irreducible unit of a much larger system. That's your 1% improvement that seems completely insignificant on its own. But when you repeat it over and over, it compounds into something absolutely amazing. So here's the crucial difference. Goals are finite. You train for a marathon, you cross the finish line, and then what? A lot of times the motivation just evaporates. But a system, like becoming the type of person who never misses a workout, that's about continuous improvement. It's not about one single achievement. It's about forging an identity that actually lasts. All right, so we get it. We need to focus on systems, and we build them with these tiny atomic habits. But how do we actually do that? Well, the solution has way less to do with willpower than you think, and a lot more to do with design. It's time to become the architect of your world. I mean, really think about this for a second. This is a powerful question. Forget trying to pump yourself up or find more motivation. What if you could just make good behavior the path of least resistance, simply by changing the world around you? Just look at this incredible real-world example from Massachusetts General Hospital. Researchers there wanted to improve eating habits without lecturing anyone. Originally, the fridges near the cash registers, they only had soda. So they made one tiny change. They added water to those same fridges and also put little baskets of water near the food stations. The result? Over just 3 months, soda sales dropped by over 11% and water sales shot up by almost 26%. No pep talks, no willpower required, just a simple change in the environment. And this leads to such a fascinating insight. Those people we think of as having incredible self-control, the super disciplined ones? Well, it turns out they're not actually that different from the rest of us. They don't have some secret reserve of willpower. They are simply better at designing their lives so they don't have to use it as often. They spend less time in tempting situations to begin with. So how do you become the architect of your own world? It's way simpler than it sounds. If you want to eat more fruit, don't hide it in the crisper drawer in your fridge. Put it in a bowl right on the counter where you can't miss it. Want to exercise in the morning? Lay out your clothes and your shoes the night before. Make it the first thing you see. The basic rule here is to make the cues for your good habits obvious, visible, and impossible to ignore. Okay, so we've got it. Design your environment for success. But what about that first step? That initial hurdle of just getting started. This final section gives us maybe the most practical tool in the whole book. At the end of the day, our brains are kind of lazy. We are all fundamentally wired to follow what's called the law of least effort. We naturally gravitate toward the option that requires the least amount of work. So instead of trying to fight that instinct, we can actually use it to our advantage. The secret to starting any new habit is to just reduce the friction until it's almost effortless to begin.
And this is the 2-minute rule. Honestly, this is a total game changer. You just scale down any new habit until it takes less than 2 minutes to do. Read before bed each night can feel like a chore, but read 1 page? Anyone can do that. Run 3 miles sounds daunting. Put on my running shoes? Simple. See, the point isn't to crush the big goal on day 1. The point is to master the art of just showing up. Because once you've started, you'll be amazed how often momentum just carries you the rest of the way.
So, as we wrap things up here, I want to leave you with this final, very practical question. Forget about all the grand plans and massive life overhauls for just a second. Just think about this. What is one tiny, obvious cue you can add to your world today to start your next good habit?